Happy birthday, USA. 250 years old. It's our nation's birthday this weekend. In the run-up to this weekend, some commentators were talking about our nation's problems. But you know, when you go to someone's birthday, you don't talk about the person's problems. Happy birthday. Remember those 3 bad things you did this past year? On a birthday, you celebrate the person, their existence. It's good that you are. So today, we say to the United States, it's good that you are. And this 250th anniversary celebration, it transcends politics. Our nation transcends any political candidates, any political parties. We've been around for 250 years. And there's been political controversy since the beginning. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson did not like each other and had strong political differences, the second and third presidents of the United States. But they were reconciled before they died. And they both died on July 4th, the 50th anniversary of the country and the Declaration of Independence, which they both had signed. Thomas Jefferson wrote the week before he died, looking back 50 years, "During the Revolution, we aroused men to assume the blessings of self-government. Let the annual return of this day, the anniversary, forever refresh our recollection of these rights and renew our devotion to them." Today, this weekend, our recollections are refreshed, as Thomas Jefferson hoped. We look back to the past and we look to the future. In our psalm today, which we just sang, "Forever I will praise my King and my God. I will extol you, my God and King. Bless your name forever. Every day I will bless you." 250 years ago, England claimed that rights came from the king. Americans claimed that rights come from God. So we had a choice, King George or Christ the King. God is mentioned 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. There's very Christian principles in that document. The U.S. Constitution lists our rights, but the Declaration lists the principles, the ideas of the nation. Today, I just want to consider 3 points, 3 considerations on this 250th anniversary. First, someone said, America is great because she is good. If she ceases to be good, she will cease to be great. We have to try to be good. One of the founding fathers, again, John Adams, the second president, observed, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." If you're relying on the people to lead the government, they better be good people. If they're selfish, they'll serve themselves and not the common good. And John Adams knew that religion helps people to become good. It helps them to become virtuous, to develop good habits, honesty, fairness, hard work, forgiveness, patience, self-control, prayerfulness, generosity, humility, courage. These are the virtues we need to live as an American people, or this government won't work. John Adams would say that you are being a good American citizen by coming to Mass this morning. He might say that those who don't come to Mass are letting themselves down and they're letting our country down. St. Paul, in his letter to the Romans today, he says, "If you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if you live by the Spirit of God, you will live." If you're just trying to satisfy your flesh, seeking pleasure and comfort, society will crumble. But if you're seeking to follow God's way and God's teachings, love God and others, society will thrive. Follow the moral teachings of Jesus. These aren't just Christian teachings. These are things all men and women should know, right and wrong. Jesus just came to earth to remind us of what we should have already known. The Catholic Church continues the teachings of Jesus, but they're not Catholic teachings. The Church is simply reminding us what we should already know. Right and wrong, the moral vision, how to be good. We need to be good to be great. Second point of consideration. The Declaration of Independence contains some very Christian ideas. Three main ideas. One, all men are created equal, equal dignity with an immortal soul. Two, we have inalienable rights from God, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And three, we have freedom for self-governance, to govern ourselves, including the freedom of religion and freedom of speech. All men created equal, we have rights from God, and we have freedom to govern ourselves. Someone said, man needs to seek truth and God to have purpose and happiness. Seek truth, freedom of speech, debate ideas. Seek God, freedom of religion, seeking the meaning of life. That's why people want to come here, not because we're perfect, by no means, but because we have freedoms. We have the freedom to disagree with each other. Third point of reflection, so we need to be good to be great. We remember these principles of our declaration. And third, finally, we have to teach our children the history of our nation. Someone said we are called to transmit from one generation to the next the culture and traditions belonging to our country and our human and spiritual values. Failure to transmit these truths produces a certain type of personality, the individual who has no awareness of what is owed to those who came before, who has no sense of responsibility toward those who will come after. Without gratitude for the past and without responsibility to others for the future, that kind of person will enjoy the goods of society in a selfish, individualistic manner, without contributing to those goods himself, and without transmitting them to the next generation. It's so easy to take things for granted without realizing the hard work it took to make those things. And it should be logical that you have to preserve them and pass them on because someone passed it on to you. But we live in a very selfish, self-centered society. We have to break through that. We have to form our children to be generous. Teach them the stories of those who founded our country and the sacrifices they made 250 years ago, and teach them the stories of all those over the past 3 centuries who continue to work and to fight for goodness in our country. And teach them their part. Each generation has to renew and reform the country over and over again. As President John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Everyone has a part to play, something to contribute. So my brothers and sisters, as Thomas Jefferson hoped 200 years ago, today our recollections are refreshed on this 4th of July weekend. So we celebrate our country's birthday, the United States of America. We remember what she stands for. All men are created equal, and we have freedoms from God. Surely that is something to celebrate.